everyone. This is Anthony Smoak. Go ahead and check me out on anthonysmoak.com. Definitely subscribe here on YouTube. Of course, if you learned something, go ahead, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe and ring the bell so you get that notification when I drop a new video. Today, back in Tableau, going over the VIZNESS first initiative here. So in the first two videos, I kind of set up where I submitted a dashboard to the Real World Fake Data Initiative project run by Mark Bradburn at Tableau. And I thought, wow, this was a fun little dashboard to put together. Let me turn it into a project. So in the first two videos, we went over the main screen or the main worksheet or dashboard element. And in this video, we're going to talk about kind of the more detailed table formatted dashboard. So let me go over to Tableau here for a second. Okay, just to recap here, this is the main dashboard, and you'll recall I showed you this in the second video here. When I select an option here, we get this indicator, and then all of my other numbers are filtered due to a filter action. So if I select, I only want to see high, right, and just show me software, right? You see I have 207, right, because they're all the records are in sync here, ain't no lie, right? And you'll notice that, we also have this right here where I can switch back and forth between the two. Showed you where to figure out how to do this, where the buttons come from. And in this video, we're going to cover the formula for how do we get this number up here? How do we know how many records we have? And how do we know how many are selected to build out this percent? And then you see I have 207 records selected. If I view the TPR report, right, how do I pass those records over to the next more detailed dashboard, table dashboard here to get this result set right here? And then I can go back. We'll also talk about where you make this this conditional formatting. Let me go back in here. So if I just go off a high, I'm going to pass over 207 records. Is that right? Nope, this has got to update. Let's go there. There we go, 1301. So now if I view the TPR report, you see how the colors change based upon the severity. So we'll show you where to find that technique as well. So let me go back here. And again, in this video, just give an overview, right? It's not going to be a step-by-step. Just going to do an overview for those that are trying to build this out at home. So let's go ahead and get started peeling back the cover on this thing. Okay, so just a little setup on this on the dashboard here. You can see my item hierarchy. You can see up top I've got a floating logo here, and then if we go in the item hierarchy, you see I have my main vertical, right? I showed that technique on how we get that main floating vertical, and within inside I've got a horizontal for up top, and I got a little blank here just to create some space. I could color this in to give it a little bit of color, but I got a little blank there. Then I have a horizontal here in the middle where I have my table, right? So if we look in there, it's just a table. And then another horizontal that's just holding some text, right? So if I go in this horizontal, right, in this horizontal right here, I also have a vertical, as you can see up top. And in that vertical, right, we've got a button that takes us back to our main page. And then we have this filters in use sheet. So let's take a look. First, we'll take a look at the table. Then we'll take a look at this filters in use sheet. So I'm going to go in here. Let's go to sheet. And if you want to build out this detail, here's what you need. You need the ticket number, the created date, requester full name, ticket status, owner group, satisfaction score, days open. To pull this off, this is severity. To pull this off, you need to know how to do this technique. Same for severity, same for days open priority, right? And so let me show you first let me show you the severity calculation that I have in here. I should have a severity color calculation, right? If the severity is low, then low color. If severity is medium, then medium color, high color, right? And so then I just assign colors. But anyway, I don't want to get into how I do the coloring. You want to go here. Watch this video. Let me bring this up here, right? there's my YouTube channel. You want to watch this how to conditionally format text cell color in Tableau. Right, I put this out here about 3 years ago, very popular, 150,000 views. So check that out, and that is going to set you up for success in building this out for severity. Days open priority, right? I just have these stars based upon how many days the ticket has been open. So if I look at the, what am I calling it? Days open, or priority. I'm calling it priority. So let's take a look at this. You'll see if my days open are greater than 30, then I'm giving it 4 stars here, greater than 20, 3 stars, so on and so forth, right? And then for the coloring, right, you can see all I did was just cut and paste, Unicode in here, a star Unicode. And so what you can do in the text, make sure I have the right one. There's priority. I just have that colored, right? So that's how you bring in the color here, right? When you edit the label. And so this is on the sum 0. Again, you'll understand why we have these sum 1, sum 0, sum 1, sum 0 when you go take a look at that video that I just that I showed you. So that's how we build this the table, right? So if I go back in here, I'm calling it TPR detail, right? That's essentially this. And so let's peel back the onion here on how we get this 1301 out of 9452 records and the percentage. So we'll show you that calculation here next. Okay, so let's go in here. I'm going to go to the sheet here, and you'll see, I just have if we go in here, right, just have the worksheet colored to my color here. That's how we get that background to be blue. And so in the text, I've got a couple things here. You'll see if I can make that not white. We've got filters in use here. Let me just highlight. We've got the filters in use indicator and a % of records selected. So let's look at filters in use indicator first. And of course, I got a video that shows you how to do that, but it's changed a little bit. If you're using a version before Tableau 2020.2, you can use what I'm showing you in my previous video. But if not, let me show you what you can do here. I want to look at filters in use indicator. If I can find it, here we go, filters in use indicator. Let's go ahead and look at that. Now, all it's doing here, so we've got this count of my file, my CSV file is help desk, right? Or actually, this is Mark Bradburn's CSV file, real world fake data, challenge number 5. So anyway, we're doing a count of essentially the records that are in here. So if the count of records is not equal to, forget ATTR for a second, the fixed count. So think of the fixed count as all of my records, all 9,542 records, right? That's not going to change, right? So if the number of records selected is not equal to the total number of records, then I'm going to show filters in use. Otherwise, I'm going to show nothing. So that's why I have something selected probably on the dashboard. That's why it says filters in use. And obviously I do because it has a number here. So that's how that filters in use pops up. Again, back to this ATTR, right? I need this ATTR because if I don't have it, here, let's do this. We're going to get an error. And it's going to say, cannot mix aggregate and non-aggregate. So in order to fix that, I put the ATTR function around here. Think of ATTR function, and there are videos that show you what, that can go more in depth, but think of it, if all of the members within my field returns a value, and if it's only a single value, right, or all members are identical, then it's going to return that value. Otherwise, it returns an asterisk. So basically, think of it like this way. It's either going to turn a value if it's the only value, or it'll return an asterisk, meaning there's more than one value. So we won't get too deep into the weeds in there. I'm basically using it as a shortcut to aggregate the LOD so that I can compare it to the count here. So boom, you take that, that's your filters in use indicator, and you can put it in here on the text, right? You can put that up top, right? Now let's talk about % of records selected. So if I go down here, percent of records selected, let's show you that. All right, so don't be intimidated here. So let's think of if I had, actually I'll change this. Instead of 2011, what do we have? 1301. So this is a comment. 1301 of 9542 records selected for 13.6%. Again, this is just a comment. I'm just going to change that for you. So all we're doing is concatenating, right? It's a fancy word for combining elements together. So this count of helpdesk.csv, that gets us our 1301. And I'm just turning it into a string so we can combine it. If it was a number, we wouldn't be able to combine it with a string. So we've got that. This is obvious. Combine that. The plus sign is concatenation. Combine that with of, right? This is obvious. Records selected, open parenthesis. And then right here, I'm just trying to get that percent. So if I take the count, right, divided by our total number, that gives me a percentage. I'm multiplying it by 100 and then rounding it to one decimal place. So I have the round in there, and we're turning that into a string. And then I'm combining that. That gets us the 13.6%. No, that gets us 13.6. And then I'm adding on percent and the close paren here. So that's what's going on here. This is the formula you'll need to build out this percent of records selected. So once you have those two, again, it's just a matter of throwing them on the text here, as I've gone back and forth, shown you this multiple times. I throw that on the text, and you've got this sheet, right? And we use this sheet in multiple places. So if we go in here, right, you see I'm using this sheet here. If I can get it to show here, right? I'm using that sheet here. And if I go back, again, this button is just an image button, nothing fancy, easy for me to say, right? Or I can change it. If I go in here, you can see just the navigation button. Go back to my main page, and then I can just put an image in there for the button here, right? And I got this image from the Flurlage twins here. Got this from their website. Again, I have a link that shows you where you can go get that. I'll put in the description here. I'll put all the links. Right, so if I go back here, I'm going to hold down Alt. Okay, I'm also using that here. So that's how we get this, how we fill in this box here with the correct information. All right, and last and not least, how do we get our filtered records, 1301, how do we get that to show up on our detailed sheet, right? How do we get all of those to show up? Let's go over that here in a second. Okay, let's go back into our main visual here, or dashboard, and let's go into the View TPR report, and let's see what's going on here. How do we get this button that takes us with the filtered records? So you can see it's fairly straightforward. Don't worry about the actions. These are all applied on the dashboard, right? But don't worry about those. Those are filter actions that are applied. Essentially, you'll notice we have View TPR report here. So View TPR report, if I go in here, oops, here, let me just go down here. View TPR report, right? Literally, it's just View TPR report, right? So that makes that show up there. And if we go into, here. Oh, it's just View TPR report, right? And I'm just throwing that on rows, right? I thought I had that on label. It's just on rows here. I just drag that up here. Okay, simple enough. So now you'll notice that I have the ticket number here on the details shelf. And so when you throw things on the details shelf, essentially we need to give this visualization, I'm using air quotes, visualization, a level of detail or granularity without affecting the visual. And we do that by putting our desired level of detail, which for us is ticket number, each individual ticket ID, on the detail. We don't want to add ticket ID to columns or rows up here because we don't, right? If I were to do this, we don't want to see all the ticket IDs, but we do want to be able to access those ticket IDs without having them show here. So we're going to throw that on the detail. And so you'll notice, okay, it's the polygon. So let's say I had this as circle, right? There's going to be a circle here for each one of my filtered ticket numbers, right? Or ticket IDs, ticket numbers, right? And so I don't want to see this, right? I just want a clean view TPR report. So what I can do is I can cheat a little bit and just say, hey, consider this a polygon. It doesn't know what to do and says, all right, I'm just not going to show anything, right? So it's a good little hack to get that detail in there, and be able to carry the IDs in there. So now I can use this as a button, because all of the ticket IDs are being filtered. When a filter action happens, somewhere on the dashboard, it's also filtering this little sheet, right? We hit all the IDs, but they're here. So now all I have to do, right, if I go back to the main sheet, I'm just placing that in the upper corner here, right? So within my main floating, you'll see I have the horizontal. You'll see I have this help desk text item here, a vertical, and in the vertical we have on top the navigate to detail and the filters in use. So this navigate to detail, I just threw it up here, and then all you have to do is put an action. Let me go back. All you have to do is throw an action on here. Oops, it's acting funny. If I go up here, dashboard actions, these are all my actions. A lot of these are filter actions, right? When I select on something, it's filtering everything else. But, navigate, I call this navigate. So it's to navigate to detail. We'll take a look at it. And what it's saying is on my main form, when I select navigate to detail, the target sheet's going to be my TPR detail sheet, right? And, I'm just filtering both items on that, on the TPR detail. Show all values, target filters all fields, say OK. And basically when I filter things here, right, it carries those over to the other sheet, right? So if let's close no action. Let's find as few as we can here, 43 medium, and then let's say 6 security and governance, right? We've narrowed those down. And so all of those 6 are embedded in this little button visual here, quote unquote visual. So when I select, right, holding down Alt, right, only those 6 get passed over. Those are being filtered. This table is being filtered, and the filter is also being applied here. So in any event, just wanted to show you these little details so you could build this out, give you some tips. Again, this wasn't a step-by-step build, but just wanted to give you some tips. At this point, I believe I've given you everything you need in order to build this out. I'll just say, if you're finding yourself needing, if you need some answers to something, go ahead and leave something in the comments, okay? Again, I'll leave these links in the description, but here's a rundown. Here's where you get the data. The filter indicators technique is from Lindsay Betzendahl. Shout out to her. Percentage of records selected. You can get that off of my blog, or obviously you saw the formula here. Buttons come from the Flerlich twins. Kevin Flerlich, I believe, put that particular article out there. You can download the PowerPoint and get those buttons. Show and hide containers. I cover that in a couple of my videos. This one is particularly good. Check that out, show and hide containers in Tableau. If you want to learn how to build out a complete COVID-19 dashboard, you can also find similar information in this link. And in the container layouts, I discussed that here on my blog. And then Curtis Harris also has a fantastic video that covers Tableau layout containers. And so just to close up here, VIZNESS first, go ahead and post that finished dashboard to Tableau public. Share your link in the comments. Like I said, I've got 10K subscribers here. They'll be able to view what you've done. Post to Twitter, LinkedIn. Make sure you put that inspired by Anthony Smoak, hashtag VIZNESS first, and then you can interact with my version on Tableau public here. So this has been Anthony Smoak. Hope you found this video useful. As always, get out there, do some great things with your data. Thanks for watching, everyone.